marketing or branding is not an event. Marketing is a process, and it's actually a cumulative process. And so we are beginning the cumulative process of building this brand for good companies called B corporations. And so the different layers of that, all fed by, most importantly, it's fed by the community itself. And so if you've got $650 million brand out there today that's just beginning to integrate those logos onto 7 million bags of flour and 500,000 catalogs and 30, painting trucks and quarter, 350 yard signs in suburban Philadelphia for Nolan Painting. Like, all those little things are the things that you see as you go about and live your life, and you say, oh yeah, I know, I've heard of that. I might have heard about it at the bank, or I might have seen it at this restaurant, or I might have seen it on the hang tag from this clothing or apparel company, and all of a sudden, all that together begins to build critical mass. That's the first thing, and basically that's free. That's basically the community itself saying, we are now more than the sum of our parts. Beyond that is PR. And one thing that we did incredibly successfully and won, so Bart and I built this company together with a lot of help from a ton of other people over a decade plus. And far and away, the most successful stuff we did had nothing to do with the money we were spending. We knew that Nike could outspend us every day. And so we weren't going to beat them through outspending them. But what we could do is we could create compelling stories that the press would pick up on. And so, we got, I think, $25 or $30 million worth of media coverage back at AN1 when we signed Latrell Sprewell. This may be like a way bad reference for this particular audience. But that being said, and we ran an ad. We spent $75,000 to produce an ad. We ran it once during the NBA playoffs. It cost us $400,000. So for under a $500,000 investment, we got $25 million worth of media coverage, 60-minute story, New York Times Magazine, et cetera, because we figured out a story that was topical and that would sort of get sucked into a media story. The beauty of what's going on now in this space that Andrew's talking about and that Bart's talked about is we don't have to create media interest in things green or sustainable or responsible. Muhammad Yunus won the freaking Nobel Peace Prize, for crying out loud. Bill Gates is being covered in the Wall Street Journal the day before he delivers his speech at Davos talking about creative capitalism. The wind is at our backs. We're in the last 2 or 3 years, everything has changed. And so we are just providing a story that's ready-made to go into this current media hunger for, if I have to see another green issue of some magazine, I'm going to throw up. And all the editors and reporters are saying the same thing, which is, well, everything can't be green. And so once you ask that question, or is it just about being green? What about people? And so once you ask those questions, we are a logical part of that story. And so we've gotten an inordinate and perhaps undeserved amount of press for where we are in our business cycle development. But it's all free. And literally every bit of that press is because we just answer the phone, hello, B-Lab, and they say, oh, hi, it's Inc. We'd like to talk to you about doing a story. And so there's the co-branding effort, there's the PR, those are the two primary things. And then, we had reasonable success building a $250 million company, creating an emotional connection with consumers around, a brand for good ball players. And now we're just using those same tools to create a brand for good business. And one of the most exciting things on the more traditional thing is a partnership with Good Magazine. It's a very cool young magazine that hopefully you guys will check out to create potentially a new title called Good Business that becomes a voice sort of for business people who give a damn. And that's an example of another type of marketing that's really about creating a vehicle to own a message, not just run a print ad or run a TV ad or figure out how to do a cool video that gets uploaded onto YouTube and spit out. But there's a way to how do we own a message and own a distribution channel for that message that becomes puts a megaphone up in front of all those tens of thousands of businesses and those $2.5 trillion worth of investment capital, and we just create a frame around which to see them a little bit more clearly and a way for them to be heard with a little bit more amplification to their message than they might have had if they were all doing it on their own.